2023 was a weird year in music. It was dominated by a diverse list of artists and genres. In this video, we'll look at the top 10 most streamed artists of 2023. Lana Del Rey. Kicking off the list at number 10 is Lana Del Rey. Her song Say Yes to Heaven got popular this year after it leaked online and went viral on TikTok from her 2014 album Ultraviolence. The song now has 293 million streams on Spotify. She released her 9th album Did You Know There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard on March 24, 2023. The album has now been streamed more than 694 million times on Spotify. She earned 5 nominations to the 2024 Grammy Awards, including one for Album of the Year. Karol G. Karol G had her best year of her career in 2023. She released the single Te Quiero Grande with Shakira, which has now been streamed more than 824 million times on Spotify. On the 24th of February 2023, Karol G's album Mañana Será Bonito was released. The album has now reached 4.3 billion streams on Spotify. She also released the single Culona with Peso Pluma this year, which has now been streamed more than 406 million times. SZA. SZA had a great 2023. She released her second album SOS at the end of 2022, and it dominated this year. The album has now been streamed more than 6.2 billion times on Spotify. The big single Kill Bill has 1.4 billion streams, and Snooze has 633 million streams on Spotify. Kill Bill ended the year as the second most streamed song of 2023, and SOS as the third most streamed album of 2023 globally. SZA's unique sound has clearly struck a chord with fans all around the world. Travis Scott. Travis made his anticipated comeback this year after the tragedy of the Astroworld Festival. He released his 4th studio album Utopia on July 28, 2023. It has been streamed more than 2.1 billion times on Spotify. It has also sold more than 1.6 million album equivalent units in the US. From the album, I Know, Meltdown with Drake, and Feid have all been streamed more than 200 million times on Spotify. Feid. The Colombian singer Feid had his breakout year in 2023. He released his 6th studio album, More, No Le Temas a la Oscuridad, on September 29, 2023. The album now has 539 million total streams on Spotify. His single with Young Miko, Classy 101, has now reached more than 621 million streams on Spotify. And his single with Daddy Yankee and Yandel, Yandel 150, has 721 million streams on Spotify. Peso Pluma. Peso Pluma had this whole year on lock, as he became one of the biggest artists in the world. He released his 3rd studio album Genesis on June 22, 2023. It was the 9th most streamed album on Spotify for 2023, having been streamed more than 2.9 billion times. He also had the 5th most streamed song of the year, Ella Baila Sola, with Eslabon Armando. It currently has more than 1 billion streams on Spotify. He had multiple streaming hits with PRC, Lady Gaga, and his Bizarre Rap Session, all of them having more than 300 million streams on Spotify. Drake. He released his 8th studio album For All the Dogs on October 6, 2023. The album already has 1.2 billion streams on Spotify. He also released Search and Rescue as a single this year, which has now been streamed more than 270 million times on Spotify. He has already cemented his legacy, as he is the most streamed artist in Spotify history. The Weeknd. The Weeknd had an amazing 2023 without dropping a new studio album. He collaborated with Metro Boomin for Creepin', which was one of the biggest hits of the year, becoming the 7th most streamed song of the year, currently sitting on more than 1 billion streams. In the beginning of 2023, his 2016 song Die For You peaked in popularity and reached 1.9 billion streams. He also released the soundtrack for his HBO TV show The Idol. The Weeknd has the most streamed song of all time in Spotify history, with Blinding Lights, which has now reached more than 3.9 billion streams. Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny is becoming the king of streaming, as he is the second most streamed artist of all time. He released his fifth album, Nadie Sabe Lo Que Va a Pasar Mañana, on October 23, 2023. It already has more than 2.1 billion streams. He was also featured on the Grupo Frontera song 1%, which now has 774 million streams on Spotify. His 2022 album Un Verano Sin Ti ended 2023 as the most streamed album of the year, for the second year in a row. It is also the most streamed album of all time, with 15 billion streams on Spotify. Taylor Swift. Topping the list as the most streamed artist of 2023 is none other than Taylor Swift. She released 2 of her re-recorded albums this year, Speak Now Taylor's version, which now has 1.6 billion streams, and 1989 Taylor's version, which has now been streamed more than 1.9 billion times on Spotify. Her 2022 album Midnights ended the year as the second most streamed album of 2023 globally. Also this year, her 2019 song Cruel Summer became a bona fide streaming hit, now sitting on 1.4 billion streams. She also embarked on a record-breaking Eras tour and released her concert film, which became the highest-grossing concert film of all time. Taylor Swift absolutely dominated 2023. And there you have it. Did your faves make the list? Tell me in the comments below.